somebody had mentioned Kaddish, so we're going to work on Kaddish first. And then I'll see if you guys want to start doing like the Friday night prayers or the blessings over the candles or that sort of thing, like Friday night at home stuff, Friday night in the synagogue stuff, just so that we're, the more we practice reading, the better it is. So I don't know if we skip a class, if that's going to be so detrimental to the whole process, because we will definitely finish the text by the end of the semester, even with, everybody else has 2 weeks off for Pesach, because most of these classes meet on Thursday and Friday, on Thursday or Friday. And so because Passover runs from Friday, it runs like Friday night to Friday, that early Thursday and Friday, they're canceling the classes because people are going to get ready. And the next Thursday and Friday are part of the holiday. They're canceling those. So they're going to miss those 2 classes in a row. So I don't think it's such a big deal for us to miss it.
Okay.
But I'm happy to make it up. I don't think I have any plans that week.
Okay.
I'll take a quick look. I don't have my 2 screens today. I'm in my kitchen instead of in my bedroom office. Because I was sitting here watching a basketball game and I didn't feel like going upstairs. Because I was lazy. Yeah, I don't have anything. I don't have anything that week of May 8th. So if we want to make it up May 9th, we can, and we can decide that the week before. So.
Sure.
All right. So, so anyway, I know Alice is coming because she called me a half an hour ago to ask me she can't find her copy of the book. She was trying to review before class. So I know she's coming. Who else? Are we missing anybody else? Let me see. Oh, we don't have Claire. Claire wasn't
Yes,
on.
I'm here.
You're here.
Hi.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Here,
I didn't see
just
you.
logged on.
Oh, okay. There you go. That's why I didn't see you. We have everybody else. And like I said, I know Alice is coming. Let me go to my email and see if she lost the text, she may have lost the link also. So let me just post the link in for her. There she is. I was just thinking that if you lost the class, you may have lost the link too. Okay, I'm about to send it to you. Okay, bye.
Like a mind reader.
I know, right? And then she called. Okay. I was just about to send it. Okay, there we go. So I got an email this afternoon from Julia Loeb, who's the education, the rabbi who's in charge of education and who runs all these classes, saying, can somebody pop in on this other person's class to explain the difference when the Shabbat is at the beginning of the word versus the middle of the word. The class is really having a hard time with it, blah, 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 blah. And I said, I'm happy to. I happen to be working from home on Friday, so I don't mind popping on. I said, but just so you know, the book is very confusing. The way they say, at the beginning of the word, you have to say which is not right. I said in the future, when you send it out, I want to white that part out because it's so, so detrimental. I actually really think they should buy a new copy and Xerox and scan in a new copy, because the copy they have is so, especially with the dots and whatever, it's a little hard to read.
Yeah.
So I went to, when I signed up to teach this class, I went to go buy the book and I couldn't buy the book because it's out of print. So hoping somebody else has a better copy. Oh, you have one, Beth.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do, but I sort of written all over it.
And you
It's
got
not
it on Amazon or something like that?
Oh,
I
my
have a
mom-
copy.
Yeah, my mother.
I have a
got it.
copy from Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
I'll
have
have
a
to wait.
copy from Amazon too.
Maybe I was going on when everybody already tried to get the book, so it was out, but
It was a rush.
I'll try to go on again, get a better copy. So,
They had only used ones, but
Okay,
it's really in great shape.
okay, good. Yeah, they're usually pretty good about that. Okay. All right. Okay. So, oh, good. Now I could turn the TV off because that game is over. Okay. Michigan State lost. If anybody was interested in knowing, obviously I was. interested in knowing.
Michigan, which Michigan?
Michigan State.
They lost?
They lost. They just lost.
That's too bad. They had such a good game. It was a close game the other day.
I know. And tonight too was a nail biter. So anyway, and my daughter goes to Indiana University and they lost the first round. So that was fine. We didn't have to go. Although the Indiana women's team is very good. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, okay. Any questions? Debbie said it's starting to get confusing because a lot of the letters look the same. It's starting to
I
get
agree.
harder. Beth agrees. How about everybody
Yes.
else? Yeah. Okay. So you let me know if you want to take it slower, right? If you don't want to learn as many letters as we go through tonight. If you want to say, I'll keep asking if we want to go on, okay? Because I don't want to flood you, because then if you get confused now and you don't catch up to that confusion and don't have time to get over that, that's going to be like a lifelong thing. You know what I mean? You're going to get very frustrated. So I don't want that to happen. So if anyone, again, like I said, we probably have 5 or 6 more letters to learn. So we have more than enough time between now and June to learn it. And if I have to pick less, I already went through the Haggadah, I picked a couple things. If I have to pick a few less things, I will. And I'd rather you guys know it for life than rush through it. Okay. This is your life skill. So, I don't want to mess that up for you. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Oh, hold on a second. Apparently I'm not the host. I have to make myself the host. Special code I have to put in to make myself the host. Okay. Now I'm the host and now I can show my screen. Look at that. Okay. All right. So, okay, page 32. We already learned this, right? The taf. And we talked about the difference between the dot inside and not the dot inside, right?
Maybe,
us,
but I
I
forgot.
remember
Did you
that.
I'm going to tell you again. For us, for conservative Jews, and for this, so the way that Israelis speak Hebrew and read Hebrew, and the way that the conservative Jews are also doing it, it is the Sephardic way, meaning for a few things. The way Orthodox Judaism handles it's an Ashkenazi way. And this is one of the differences. For the Orthodox, for us, it's the same sound, whether there is a dot or not. It's t, like our T. For the Orthodox Jews, when there's no dot, it's an S sound. So, when you hear someone davening and they say, oh, I have a siddur right here. Look at that. You guys must think I'm like so religious because I always have a siddur next to me. But I happen to have led services the other day and I was practicing before I left the house. So for example, the last line of the first 3 brachot of the Amidah is Baruch Atah Hashem Mechayei Hametim, right? Does that sound familiar to you when you're in synagogue? The way the Orthodox would pronounce it, or the way the Ashkenaz would pronounce it, it's Baruch Atah Hashem Mechayei Hamesim, right? So I'm sure you've heard that, right? Yiskadal v'yiskadash, right? As opposed to Yitkadal v'yitkadash. So that's the only difference. So for our purposes, it's a t no matter what. But if you hear someone pronounce it as a sa, because it has no dot in it, then that's not wrong. Does that make sense to everyone?
Well,
Yes.
I hear it a lot, even though I go to a conservative shul, and we are doing the Israeli Hebrew. A lot of the people of the members were taught the Ashkenazi way, so I'm familiar
That's
with
it.
hearing
If they
both
grew
ways.
up, if they grew up in an Orthodox or going to an Orthodox yeshiva as children, then that's how they were brought up. And like I said, it's not wrong. So, so anyway, I'm gonna leave this page for you guys to look through. Did we learn the hey yet? Did we learn hey?
Yes.
Okay. So here, I believe all they want to tell you about the hey. See here on line 7, that last hey, you don't pronounce. Again, it's a grammatical thing. And the kamatz, which is this little plus, almost always goes with the hey at the end of the word. You'll see it, and it's a kamatz.
Oh.
Okay. So this is HaTorah, Haya,
Yeah.
Noten HaTorah, right? Ata in the next line. So all that you need to know on that one is when the hey is at the end, you don't have to pronounce it. Okay. Okay, and this is another review page 33 with just all review, but nothing new. Okay, this is where we get into the Shabbat, right? And again, they're going to give you what they're calling a sounded Shva versus a silent Shva. And the way I said it, when it comes at the beginning of the word, you have to enunciate it, right? So baracha, tzedakah, brit. Whereas if on line 4, when it comes in the middle of the word, it's just a syllable stopper. Malache, elyon.
What about bar who? It's separate. It stops there, doesn't it?
Where?
I don't see it here, but bar who? It's
Oh,
part
with
of
it
this one.
under the resh.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it's bar hu, it is in the middle of the word. So it's bar hu.
Good. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now you will hear people say Baruch Hu et Adonai, right?
Yeah.
It's not, again, it's not completely correct, but you wouldn't call someone out on it. And a lot of times, like when we sing Shalom Aleichem, no, it's always, let me go back up to page 1. Hold on, this is page 34. I don't want to forget that. Okay. Shalom Aleichem Malachi, right? Because there's it's going to be Malachi Hasharet, right?
Yeah.
Here on line 2, Mi Malachi Elyon Bi Melech Mahalachi Hamelachim, right? So those are the syllable stoppers. Because these words, Malachi and Malche, are so close, they're very close together, right? They have the same root word and everything. You'll hear people incorrectly say, Mi melech malachi hamlachim. That's not right. It's mahalachi hamlachim. When they're singing it, it gets away from them. It's wrong, but again, I'm not one to walk around and point out when people are wrong. So
Okay.
just know that that again, when it's in the middle of the word, it's a syllable stopper. When it's at the beginning of the word, you have to blend it. So you have to make some sort of a sound, right? And it's usually an sort of like a baracha, that sort of thing. Now here are words that have both ways in it. So the first word is lehadalik, right? So the first one is a le, and under the dalid, it's a syllable stopper. So let's say that together. Lehadalik,
Had, leak,
right? Let's do it again.
had,
Lehadalik.
leak.
Leak.
And the next one's is going to, again, this is going to be a syllable stopper. And this one, because you're going into two consonants together, you want to blend them. So this is kad shacha.
Had,
Had,
Shacha.
shecha,
had, shecha,
Le, had, leak, had, shecha.
had, shecha.
Adli,
had, shecha.
Kadshicha.
Right? So I'm actually I will make sure that this page 34 that I tape for sure. I didn't bring a pen with me. Hold on one second. Ugh. See, this is the reason to have class at your desk, Lymor, because you have everything there that you need. Okay. Page 34. Oh, look. My syllabus is down here too. Okay, page 34 definitely will tape for you because it's important to have that. Okay. We did go over the right?
Yes,
They're just introducing it to you here again. But we did not learn the right? So this is a it's called a vav, V-A-V, if you want to write that down.
What page is that? I'm sorry.
We're on page 35 now.
Okay.
Can you see my whiteboard?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
So it's the same letter. I have terrible handwriting, so now. Okay. So we have, when it's just without the vowel, it's v. It's a consonant. When it has the dot in the middle, remember, it's like punching you in the stomach. Ooh.
Mm,
And when it's up top, it's like punching you in the head. Oh,
Ah,
right? Oh, ooh, and v. So it's a little tricky. I'm going back to this. It's a little tricky when you see them all together. So, so line 4, I'll do line 4 for you, and then we're going to do it together. Okay. Actually, how about I do each sound and you repeat it just like I do on the tape. Is that good?
mhm.
Okay. Va,
Ba,
ah,
va,
Ah,
v,
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 they,
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 ve,
the,
vu,
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 vo,
vo,
Wa,
o,
vo,
O,
v.
Wa.
Now you see how these two are the same. They and they, even though there's a yud after it. Same thing with the E, V and V, right?
mhm,
These two make the same sound, vu, excuse me. And this is a vo. Now they're not telling you this, so I'm not, there are times where sometimes it's hard to tell, but I don't see that here. So, okay. All right, let's go on. Terry, line 5.
Shabbat, Radza, Ad, Va Ed. Va
Perfect.
Ed.
Lucero, line 6.
Va, no, bueno. Vear
Ve'ad.
olam. mm, el olam.
Nope. Le'olam.
Olam.
Right? You're just adding one word to this olam, right?
Olam, yes.
Le'olam.
Olam.
Vaer,
Vaed.
veojano.
Ve'otanu. Yep. Again, that hey and that taf, let me see if there's one in the same word. The hey and the taf are just slightly different. One is a closed with a tail. This one's closed with a tail, and this one's open with a tail. Different kind of tail, right? So, okay. Lila, line 7.
Mitzavacha hayom mitzvah mitzvot.
Perfect. Perfect.
Sorry, I have to answer my phone. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. Claire, line 8.
Zera.
Zira,
Siva,
oh, ziva,
right? That's where it's a v.
ziva, zivanu,
Sivanu.
zivanu. Why? Oh, I pronounced it. Okay, I understand what I did. Vetsivanu,
Yes.
Vetsivanu.
Perfect. Debbie, line 9.
Siva, mitzvah, siva, mitzvah, siva, mitzvah.
Yep. Mitzvah. Yep. Okay. Alice, you want to do line 10? You have to unmute yourself. Alice, do you know how to unmute yourself?
Okay.
There you go.
Mitzvot, mitzvot.
Okay. The first two, though, are mitzvah, right?
Mitzvah.
This is a hey, so it's going to be va. Mitzvah, mitzvah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mitzvah, mitzvot.
Exactly.
Mitzvot.
Perfect. Okay. When preceded like a shva, vo as vo. Okay. Okay, so this is what I was saying. There's an exception. And I knew there was a page that explained the exception. Okay. So when sometimes this does double duty as a vav and as the vowel o. Okay. And it only happens when it's preceded by the shva. Okay, so this is a little bit of a difficult concept, but they're showing you here, mitzvah is pronounced mitzvah. Right? Mitzvot. Be mitzvot. Torah u mitzvot. Mitzvot Hashem. So they actually should have flipped the screen and said this equals that, as opposed to the way they did it. But that is a tricky exception. It doesn't come up that often. Mitzvah is probably the mitzvah, mitzvot, that word, root word, any of those root words is probably the most common as to where it comes up. So I don't know that.
Explain it again.
Sure,
I'm sorry. So
that's fine.
are you saying that you would have normally just pronounced it as the off sound without
Right,
the V sound?
So if you're
But-
reading it, you would say this is mitzot.
Okay. But because of the Shiva, we make it into the V sound with it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And if this word were the word mitzot, which isn't a word, you would actually have an aleph or an ayin in between here. You would never have two vowels together. So you would never have a shva, which is a vowel, even though it says nothing, it's a vowel, next to another vowel. I think that's the grammatical piece of it, is that you never have two vowels together.
So what's written on the left would never be written.
No, what's written on the left is what it would be. What's written on the right is what never would be written.
Now you lost me. Line 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, on the left.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The left
You're
is how
right.
it
That's
sounds, the right is how it's written.
I'm backwards.
Oh,
The
okay.
one on the right is how it's written next to the numbers. 1, 2.
Yes.
That's how it's written.
The
the
other
one-
side would never be written,
Would never be. Exactly.
but that's for pronunciation. Okay.
Correct. So I don't want you to stress over this too much. This is something we'll go over when we're reading prayers and things like that. And I'll remind you of that. It's an exception. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't happen a lot, but it's important for this word mitzvot because we have that a lot in our Siddur, and it's a grammatical thing. So I'm just looking for a second. Bim tzotav, what's the star on the bottom here? At the end of the word, the yud is silent. Okay, but we know that already. Bimromav is the same as pronouncing it bimromav. But we don't pronounce the yud, which we've said, if the yud is preceded by a vowel, it takes on the vowel, right? So when it's an E or an A or an A, you don't pronounce the yud, it takes on that vowel, right? So it's the same for A. This is bimromav, bemitzvotav. I don't think it's more of a grammatical, to show you a grammar as opposed to learning it, because we're already doing it, right? Yes, no, I see so many confused faces. It's okay. It's okay to be confused because it's confusing. It's a different language.
It's two different concepts, right? First they're talking about the Shva, then they're talking about.
Right. So they're just trying to give you a couple of exceptions to the rule and they're throwing it all on a couple of pages.
Yes, rude.
So, right. We've already learned that concept of the fact that the yud takes on whatever vowel is in front of it, right? That it's not a consonant if it follows a vowel, it takes that on. When there's, let me go back to, we were seeing that at the beginning of this class. I want to say page 31. Let me just scroll back up there. Page 32. Where were we? When I was talking about it. Oh, with the Vav. When I said V and V, right?
Yeah.
They and they. When there's a yud, it doesn't matter. It's still going to have that same thing. So it happens with the ah as well. Okay. So if the only time it's not going to happen with the ah, let me say this. The only time it's not going to happen with the ah is when the yud is at the end of the word. It would be I at the end of the word. But if there is a consonant afterwards, then it takes on the ah sound. Okay. Again, something that doesn't come up, it comes up. It's not everything. I'm not expecting you to go out and read the newspaper or Hebrew novels after this. We're going to be reviewing the prayers. We're going to be like I said, the first thing's Kaddish, whatever, and we'll go in whatever order you guys want. But I heard for a couple weeks ago that Kaddish was the one that you guys really want to know all the different Kaddishes and all that. We'll go through all of them so that you guys can read them. And if God forbid you're, you have to say them for being in mourning, or when you have to say them for a yard say, then you're going to be prepared for it. And you're not going to feel like you're standing there, not knowing. Okay. So
Can we go back a second? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe I need to get more sleep before these classes.
No, it's fine. It's confusing.
Okay, like, for example, on page 8,
Okay. Hold on.
that was the yud with the vowel E. Right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's an example where the yud is silent.
Correct.
But before you had the word hayoma.
Where do we have that?
You had, sorry, I can't turn off my phone right now.
Don't worry about it.
There was somewhere where you had the word hayom. So
Here.
in that example, you're making the yud sound even though there's a vowel before it.
Right. Because it is not at the end of the word. That's the grammatical difference, is whether it's at the end of the word or the beginning of the word or the middle of the word. Right. So this word hayom, yes, this happens to be a consonant, not a vowel. Now let's go to where they're giving us this. The difference is that it's a kamatz versus a patach. Okay. So it's at the end of the word. Oh, I see what they're telling you. They're telling you that when it goes with a vav. Oh, that's why they're telling us, because it's the vav thing. That's why they're telling us here. When it goes with a vav, after a vowel, before a vav, it's silent.
So you would pronounce that man at the end.
Mav.
I'm sorry, mav. Yeah.
Right. Right. So after a vowel, before a vav, at the end of the word, it's
On a
silent.
Tuesday.
Right, when it's not raining.
So why put it in anyways? Just skip it.
It's a grammatical thing. I don't even know, but it's something that has to do with the grammatical nature of the word. Again, it's something that as we go through the tefillot, I'll remind you of all of these little nuances. I'm not
What
sure that
page
it's
is this?
something, this is page 36. I'm not sure this is something that you want to like stress over. Again, there's enough to stress over the letters and all that. The exceptions will come to as we go to them.
Question,
Yeah.
line 5, is that mitzvot Hashem?
Yes.
The H by itself, like that means Hashem.
Right. So the H by itself with that little apostrophe
Yes.
is the way they say Hashem instead of writing out Yud He Vav He or
Okay.
the word Hashem. or Adonai or any of those.
Adonai, okay.
I think in a prayer, though, we don't use the Hashem, we use the Adonai for the same thing.
Yes, yes. So when
It's
I
a
was saying
legitimate
it
prayer.
before, when I was reading out of the Siddur before, and I said, Baruch atah Hashem mechayei hametim, because I'm not praying right now,
Right,
I'm not saying it, right? Because you don't
Oh.
take God's name in vain.
right.
Right? But
I
the Yud
understand.
Hey Vav Hey, I doubt it's even on this in this book, but when we get into the Siddur and I pull up the Siddur, we'll go into it and I'll show you what the Yud Hey Vav Hey, what that means. We don't pronounce the Yud Hey Vav Hey. There's never vowels with Yud Hey Vav Hey. And it's always Adonai, Hashem, you know, whatever. But yeah, when we're praying, we're going to say Adonai.
When we're praying, we say Adonai, but when we're reading it in text like this, we say Hashem.
And that's again, personal preference. You know, I grew up where you don't say God's name in vain.
Right.
So I try not to. Again, if I'm teaching you it, then we're going to say it, and it's, you know, and that sort of thing. And I, you know, so I'm not gonna say I never say it, because I do. So here's a good example. At the bottom of page 36, we can now read the blessing for lighting the Shabbat candles. So this Friday night, you can read this right out of your own Siddur or your bencher at home, or you can print this page out and read it. Okay. So who wants to take line 1?
Take it.
All right, Claire, go for it.
Baruch atah Hashem Eloheinu melech haolam.
Terry, line 2.
Asher Kidshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu.
Beth, finish it up.
Oh,
Lahadlich ner shel Shabbat.
Right, that's k, lehadlik.
Lahadlik, oh, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Yeah. So definitely, guys, you're going to practice that one. You're going to practice that one for this Friday, because now you have that in your toolkit. And I think that's why, actually, again, we know this book. They want us to be so proud of what we've learned. So I think they gave you the b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, the Yud Vav, and all the Vav things, because they wanted you to be able to say these 2 words of the entire, you know, we could have said up until today, everything but those 2 words. So they were like, well, if we want to teach them how to light candles, then if we teach them these 2 exceptions, then boom, they're going to have it, right? And so that's why they put it where they put it in the book. Again, as we go through things, as we go through prayers, as we go through things, we will definitely learn that. Okay. Are we ready to go on to the next letter? Do we have questions? Okay.
So I do have, okay, this is on the facing, this illustration, which maybe not everybody has. Does everybody have this in their handout?
no.
Because I think this is Yiddish, right? Do you guys see? You can't see this.
I don't know. Pull it up, put it up.
It says here, Licht Benchen.
Licht benchen.
Yeah, but
yeah.
on the top, it looks like Hebrew, but I think that must be Yiddish because.
Let's see. Yeah, that says Licht benchen in.
Yiddish.
Yeah.
Though. Licht Benchen would be Yiddish, not Hebrew.
Yeah.
So
I love that. That's great. That's great. We were one time on a vacation, and we were driving up, we were going to Lake George from here, and we drove up the thruway and we stopped around Albany or whatever to like picnic lunch. And I went to the bathroom, and as I came out of the bathroom, there was like a water fountain, and there was a sign that looked like it was Hebrew, and I couldn't read it. And I said to my mother, "What does this say?" She goes, "Oh, it's Yiddish." She says, "This sink is for drinking, not for washing your hands." Basically, like you're forbidden to wash. And it was from like the VOD of whatever up there. You're forbidden to wash your hands in the sink. It is strictly for drinking. And they did it in Yiddish because it was for the From people, the Satmars and those people up there. So that was just very funny. So every once in a while you go to try to read something and you're like, I can't read this. What is it? And it happens to be Yiddish. So anyway, okay. So let me share my screen. We'll go on to the next thing. That's not it. This is it. Okay. So they're going to teach you now of this word. We only know one letter, right? And that's the last letter, which is a nun. And once we get to read this, you're going to know why this is the next word they want you to read. So this is a Gimel, G-I-M-M-E-L, if you're interested.
Gimel.
And it's a guttural G, not a soft G, right? Not giraffe. It's like gazebo. Couldn't think of a word that started with a hard G. Gazebo, right? So
Like a letter on the dreidel.
just the letter on the dreidel, Gimel, right? Take all,
Take
Gimel.
all, right?
Okay, so let's do this like I do it on the tape. I'll point to and do the letter, and you will you'll repeat after me. Ga,
Ga.
Ga,
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 ge,
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 yeah,
gay,
ge,
gay,
gay,
Ge.
gay,
gi,
Gi.
gee,
gi,
Gi.
gi,
goo,
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 go,
ga,
go,
go.
go.
Okay, Lucero, line 2.
Go.
Goei.
Goei. Okay.
Yep.
Goei. Gadosh. Gadol. Gil.
Uh-huh.
Gula.
Perfect. Any questions on that line?
Will you repeat that line again?
Sure. Go, goi, gadol, gil, gula.
Why is the third word pronounced the way you're saying it?
I knew you were going to ask me that. That's why I circled it before. It's a good question.
I would pronounce it, if I looked at, I would pronounce it as just Goei.
Well, we're pronouncing the yud. And I've previously said when the yud comes after a vowel, you don't pronounce it, right? I just think that with the vav, with any of the vowels that go with the vav, there's a bunch of exceptions. So
that's a little confusing.
it's very confusing. It's very confusing.
So say the
Okay.
word again. I'm sorry.
That's why I stopped there, because I knew it would be
Goei,
goy,
Goy.
goei.
like G-O-Y, goy.
Okay.
Okay, so again, that's sort of an exception, because again, because I've said that when it comes after a vowel, and technically this is a vowel, but the vav vowels are a little bit, again, we've got two different kinds of O vowels, right? But even if the yud came after this second one, right? If the yud came after this, it would still be Goei. So, okay. Okay, Debbie, line 3.
Gal, Gali, Gali, Galil, Gael,
Goel.
Goel,
Mm-hmm.
Goula,
Yep, Geula, yep. Yep, that's a hard one, but you did it. All right, Alice, line 4.
Gil, Gila, Ger,
Mm-hmm,
Gog,
mm-hmm,
Gan,
mm-hmm.
Gam,
Uh-huh.
Goya. Go.
That one doesn't have any dots, so it's Gavia.
Gavia.
Yep,
Gavia.
yep. Perfect. Okay.
Do you
Okay.
pronounce it Gavia?
Gavia. Uh-huh.
Gavia.
Because again, it's at the beginning of the word, so you're going to blend it, right? So you need to make some sort of a sound to blend it. Gavia. Whether it's a full or it's just stopping the g, and some people do it differently. But just like on the last word on line 3 was geula, right? It's geula, geula, right? It could be it depending on how pronounced you're going to make it. Beth, I have you on mute from when you went to answer your phone, I think. Do you
Oh.
want to do line 5?
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Na, Gila, Goy, right? That's that tricky one,
Yeah.
right? Goy. Okay. Gadol,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Gidula,
Uh-huh.
Yigdal,
Mm-hmm.
Yigdal, Yit Gadal. Oh, Yit Gadal.
Yes. See? You recognized it. You guys wanted
Yes,
to do
I did.
Kaddish, and here's the first word right
Yeah.
here. Yit gadal. Good, good, good. That was a hard line. All right, Terry, you're getting the easy one, line 6. I say easy, but they're all difficult with a new letter.
Goel, Golel, Goula,
Yes. Okay. Who's up? Claire, line 7.
La tête, Edula, les utser, no, les utser,
Le Yotzer. Uh-huh. Le
les
Yotzer.
utser,
Uh-huh.
sheet,
Ray. The Ray sheet.
sheet.
Right. So that sounds so familiar. La tête gedula le yotzer breshit. That is part of the Aleinu, right? So, you know what? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go. I was just on there the other day. Seem Shalom PDF. Where did I find it? Where did I find it? Here it is. I'm gonna find the page. Shabbat Musaf. There it is. Let's go there and let me share this screen with you guys. Where did it go? Here it is. Share. Okay. So I'm just going to scroll through it. Okay. I'll make this a little bit bigger so we can all see it. Okay. Okay, so this is the slim shalom, right? It's the sim shalom that's just for Shabbat.
Right.
And here it is. Latet, oh, I can't highlight here. Aleinu l'shabeach, right? Latet gedula leotzer breshit. So every time you say the Aleinu, that line that we just read is right here in the Sidur. And the Aleinu is the same no matter which service you do it in, whether it's Shacharit, Mincha, Musaf, or Arvit. Okay, so that is, I just thought that was interesting. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, where do we know that from? That's where we know it from. Okay. Who are we up to? Lila, line 8.
Vayahu,
Vahu.
Vahu, Eli, Gawali, Vaim, Gaviati.
Yes. So that is, where's that? Is that also? Don't I leave Elohira? Oh, that is, that's part of Yigdal. No, that's part of Adon Olam. I'm sorry. That's the last line of Adon Olam. Vehu Eli v'chai goali v'tzurchav li ve'in tzara vehu nisi umanos li. Right? So they're trying to give you as many words as they can from again. They're trying to do Friday night here. They're trying to give you Friday night, I think. Okay. Line 9. Alice, I'm going to give you this one because you're the one that asked about Kaddish. And we're going to do Kaddish, the whole thing. But you asked first, so I'm going to let you do line 9.
V'yit kadal, v'yit chadash, v'mei shemei rabbah.
Perfect. Perfect. So that is the first line of Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah.
So on
Right.
that one, the second word, where you have
Yes.
the yud with the E sound underneath it.
Correct.
Are you saying it as E or are you saying it as ye?
Ye. Ve'yit kadash.
Okay.
Yep, good question. You know I like good questions. Good, good, good. All right. How do we feel? Do we want to go on to, it is 8:20. Do we want to go on to the next one or we're stopping here? Because we've got a lot that we covered today, even though a lot of it's exceptions, we can stop here.
I think so.
Okay, we're going to stop here. So we're stopping at page 37. So I'm going to record page 34 for you. Let's just take a quick look. We started on page 32 today. Let me make this a little bit smaller so I can see it. So page 32 we did. Page 33 is a review page. And I will record page 33 because those are always, that's a good page to record, right, guys? 33?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I like that.
The 33, 34 I'll record because there's so many different things with the Shiva and whatnot. And again, you can review this stuff on your own. Again, 36, the blessing I'll record for you as well, so you have it. And hopefully this Friday night you can either open up your bencher or your Sidur or print this page and have it with you. And then just the Go on line 37. Okay, and we will continue on next week with page 38.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Lymor.